All right, so I'll go ahead and get started. So this is the main page. Once the link is set up, we'll have the link to Brainfuse within your learning management system is usually where it's put. So your students will sign into Blackboard or whatever it is that you use. Our link will be posted somewhere there. They'll click on that link and they'll be able to access this page. So the different parts of the service that we offer are all located here in the middle of the page with these different buttons. And there's 3 different tabs here. So we have the Expert Help tab, and then Study, and then Collaborate. So we'll go through each of these here. Essentially, each of these buttons is optional as well. So if any of these are not relevant at all for your students, they can all be removed if it's something you don't want to show up. So I'll start with the first one here, which is our Live Help option. This is essentially our foundational service. So it involves students connecting with our live tutors to get help from an actual live tutor. So you can ask questions you have. You can go over general topics if you're struggling on a topic you're learning about in school, anything like that. So that's where you'll go to connect with one of the live tutors. So if you click on Live Help, to connect with a tutor, you just have to choose from one of the topics available here. So I'll go through the different ones that we have. So if you choose Business, we then have Accounting, Econ, and Finance. If you choose Computer and Tech, we have Excel, PowerPoint, Windows, and Word.
That's nice.
If you choose English, we have Reading and Writing. If you choose Math, we have a number of math subjects here, pretty much all the math subjects a college math student could want. And then within Science, we have Anatomy, Biology, Chemistry, and Physics. So you just choose the one you want, click on the Get Live Help button, and that will connect you with a live tutor. We'll look at a live session at the very end today, so that'll be the last thing we do. I'm just going to go through all the different service options first, and then we'll look at a live session at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You can also click right here if you'd like to get a Spanish-speaking tutor. Back on the main page, the next option is Skill Surfer. Skill Surfer basically allows students to access our library of lessons that we have created and look at them on their own. So our tutors are able to access these lessons in a live session. So if a student connects and wants help on a particular topic, the tutor can load our lesson into the online classroom and work through that with the student. But here in Skill Surfer, you can access our lessons on your own when you're not connected with a tutor. So you just click on one of the topics here. For example, if I click on college algebra, we have all these different subtopics within college algebra. For example, linear equations and inequalities. Within this subtopic, there's 34 different lessons. So you can look through these lessons on your own. If there's a topic you're looking to get some help with, you'll see there's text lessons. So these are the orangish, reddish icons here. Those are lessons like in a textbook. And then we also have video lessons available that we've created. We go back to the home page. The next service is the Writing Lab. So the Writing Lab basically allows students to send in a piece of writing they're working on to have it reviewed by one of our tutors. So the student sends in that piece of writing. It goes out to our tutors. One of them will work on it and send it back to the student within 1 business day from when the student sent it in. So that's the maximum turnaround time, 1 business day. A lot of the time, we respond much more quickly than that. As soon as the student sends it in, it's available to our tutors to edit. So one of them might work on it and send it back within an hour or 2. But at most, it'll come back 1 business day later. If I click on the Writing Lab button to send in a document, you just follow the 2 steps here. So you attach the file in number 1. Pretty much any standard document type can be sent to us. Then you have a comments box where you can type out whatever you'd like to the tutor. So you can type out what the assignment was or what specifically you're looking for help with. And then when you're ready, just click on the Submit button. That'll send it in to us, and you get this message here, which directs you to the Message Center. So up here at the top of the page, you have the Message Center option. So this is where that document will be saved, along with the one that our tutor sends back. So down here at the very bottom is the one we just sent in. The responses in the blue box here, this is what the tutor sent back. So, for example, this right here was the document the student sent in, and then this was the tutor's response. These are all a demo account, so the tutor here didn't actually send a document back, but of course normally they would, and you'd be able to open up the document here and do anything with it that you could do with a normal document. So print it out, email it to yourself, anything like that. As far as what the review looks like, this document right here is essentially what our reviews look like. So the paper will come back with our writing rubric on the top. So this is an area where the tutor will post some comments on various sections of the paper. Then if you scroll further down, the rubric ends right here, and you'll have the actual student's paper. And within the student's paper, you'll see the tutor will also embed comments here as well. So the tutor's comments here are in the blue bold text. So this is what it looks like when the tutor sends back their response. Our tutors, they focus on providing comments and suggestions on how to improve the paper. So we're not trying to make all of the changes for the student or fix all the grammar errors or typos. The goal is for the student to actually make the changes. So they'll take our suggestions into consideration and go back and make changes on their own. Right next to the Writing Lab button, we have 24/7 Center. This option works the same way as the Writing Lab, except the 24/7 Center lets you send in questions. So the Writing Lab, you send in a paper to have it reviewed. Here you can send in any academic questions you have. You can, of course, connect with a live tutor and ask your question there, but you can use this service if you don't want to connect with a live tutor or don't have time to, or if it's outside of the live tutoring hours. So you can send in a question here any time of day. So you just choose one of the topics available. So you choose geometry, type out your question in the box here. If you have a file you'd like to attach, you can do that as well, and then click on Submit. So that question will be saved in the Message Center here, along with the response that we send back. So it works just like the Writing Lab. And again, the turnaround time is the same, but especially for questions sent in here, we usually respond much more quickly than 1 business day. And our tutors are never going to give out answers. So if you send in a math question here, the tutor will work through a similar problem, give you some resources you can use to help solve the problem, get you started, something like that. They're never going to work the problem and give you the answer. Are there any questions about anything so far?
Not so far. I noticed that in the Writing Lab there was a mention of APA. Is there a section they can go for APA help, or do they just go to the Writing Lab and let the e-instructor know or the e-tutor know that they want APA help? We have many students who come into the center wanting APA help. So.
Okay, yeah, we have a lot of students already from existing clients who also use APA. So it's helpful if the student just writes in the comments box here.
Okay.
You know, this is I'm looking for help putting this in APA format. But we get so many submissions that our tutors they're used to APA papers. So most of the students don't say that, but you can tell when a paper is supposed to be in APA format. So the tutor will still help with that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. So if we go back to the home page here, the next button is the Language Lab. So this is here for anyone who's learning to speak Spanish. So Spanish is currently the only language we offer in the Language Lab. So if you click on the button, you'll see Spanish is the only option available. So you can choose that and then connect with a live tutor here, and that tutor can help you with learning the Spanish language. We also saw in the Live Help button, you can click on the checkbox here to get a Spanish-speaking tutor. This is usually used by a native Spanish speaker or someone who's more comfortable learning in Spanish. So you can choose, math, college algebra, and get help for that subject from a tutor who speaks Spanish. And then the Language Lab button is more for someone who's trying to learn Spanish. The Adult Learning Center button here, I'll click on this one. Again, some of the options here may not be relevant for your students. The Adult Learning Center is more designed for our clients who are libraries, so they'll have adults who come into the library and need help with various things. So that's what the Adult Learning Center was designed for. So some of the options here, again, may not be relevant. But basically on the right-hand side of our Adult Learning Center page here, under where it says Lifelong Learning, you have essentially 5 academic tutoring options here that we have either already seen or will be seeing back on the main page. So we have the live tutoring, the writing lab, and 24/7 help. I guess the test center is really the only one we haven't seen yet. So these are academic tutoring options. They're geared towards adult learners, but they work exactly the same way as the ones we've seen back on the main page that were by the same name. So the writing lab, 24/7 help. The test center basically allows you to take practice tests, and we'll see the regular test center back on the main page as well. So everything here is geared towards adult learners. On the left, we have some additional options. So we have resources for anyone preparing for the GED test, and also the U.S. citizenship test. So within each of these buttons, we have a resources section, so study materials, and then live tutors available who can help you prepare for that test, and then practice tests available as well. So we have that for both the GED and the U.S. citizenship test. Here we have a resume option for anyone who's working on a resume. So we have some online resources for resumes. Then we have what we call the resume lab, so this upload resume button. It works just like the writing lab that we saw before, so you can send in a resume here for review. And again, we'll respond within 1 business day with our review of your resume. And then on the right, you can connect to a live tutor and go over your resume in a live session, or just ask any questions you have about resumes. Then we have a Microsoft Office help option. So we offer help with Word, Excel, and PowerPoint up to the most recent versions of those programs. So we have online resources and then live tutors. And then the last option here in the Adult Learning Center is career resources. So this sort of goes along with the resume help option. So these are some websites we've compiled that you can use to find available jobs to apply to. So we have general job sites, then we have job sites for students and recent graduates, and then we have job sites for veterans. So that was the Adult Learning Center button. We're back here on the main page. If I keep working my way down, we get to the LEAP option. So we call this the College Skills Program. Essentially in LEAP, you're able to take a diagnostic test in a subject, and then based on the results of the diagnostic test, we essentially send you a learning plan, including lessons, videos that we've created, and then little mini quizzes to help you practice after you've gone through our lessons and videos. We only have this available for certain subjects, so the first time you click on it, you actually won't see this page. I'm seeing this page because I've already taken a diagnostic. The first time you click on LEAP, you'll see this page, so the Take Diagnostic tab. The only subjects we have available for this are if you choose English, you can take a reading diagnostic, or if you choose math, you can take pre-algebra or college algebra. So you take the diagnostic quiz, then you get a page like this. That's essentially your learning plan. The chart up here will fill in as you work through the various lessons and other items that have been assigned. And those items that have been assigned show up right down here. So this is the study plan. You can click on each of these options. So we have a lesson here, and then a video on the same topic, and then a mini quiz you'll take after working through the lesson and the video to make sure you've understood that concept. So that's how LEAP works. The last option here in the Expert Help tab is Tutor Match. So this you may or may not use. You can use this to schedule tutoring sessions with our tutors, but that's not usually necessary because our tutors are available at certain times, and you can always log in and connect with them. The main thing this is used for is to schedule tutoring sessions with your tutors. So if you have campus tutors that you'd like to use our scheduling system here to schedule sessions with, you can do that using Tutor Match. So if you click on the button, you have to choose one of the topics that we have. Let's say I choose geometry, click on schedule. So you have to choose your modality. So for us, obviously we only offer online sessions. So you can choose online and then try to schedule a session with one of our tutors. And then if you use phone or on campus, those will be with your tutors. So if that's something you wanted to use, we would need some more information from you about schedules and things like that to get it all set up.
would we give you the tutor's schedule and their contact information? Is that how it would work?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Any other questions about these options we've gone over so far?
So the student could schedule their tutoring session with a tutor if we use that option of like tutor match.
Yes.
We're putting tutor schedules and availability together right now, and we've been looking for something to help us with scheduling. So this would be, we could post this actually online, or this would be available through Brainfuse, and our students could actually go in there and schedule with our tutors.
Yes, it's a new feature that I haven't used personally, so but I know we're using it with a couple of clients. So I don't know the exact details of how it works, but yeah, you can essentially input your tutor schedules and then use our system to set up students to set up sessions with the tutors.
Okay.
So if that's something you want to pursue, you can definitely let us know, and we can work with you on that.
Yeah, we could. We think we may end up trying at least one or two tutors to see if that would. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions right now?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I'll move on to the study tab here.
Okay.
And the first button here is Flashbulb. And this is basically an online flashcard service. So you can enter your own flashcards here. You click on the button. Use the Create Now button here on the left to enter your own flashcards. We also have all these different topics listed over here. So you can click on these to access sets of flashcards that other people have created. For the most part, though, they're just created by other students, so they may not be accurate. Plus, they probably won't cover the exact words you're looking to work on. So most people who use Flashbulb use the Create Now button to enter their own cards. I'm going to click on one of the topics here just to show you a set of flashcards. So this page right here is what a set of flashcards looks like once you've entered it. And you can click on each of the icons down here, and it will let you do something different with those flashcards. So the first button will just show me the cards here. You can see the first word. Click on it to flip it over, and then you can put that into the correct pile or into the incorrect pile if you didn't know that one. Then you can retry the ones you didn't know. There's a number of games here you can play as well. So if you click on crossword, the system will create a crossword puzzle for you using the words that you entered with the definitions over here as the clues. There's a number of other games available here as well. You can take a quiz or a test. You can print the cards out if you want to have hard copies of them. So there's a lot of options here designed to make memorizing a little bit easier for students.
Yeah, it saves it. It does save the information that you create. Yeah.
Yes.
And you can go back and get it, or someone else could actually use the flashcards that you create, right?
Yes.
You would just show me that someone, Miller, had created.
Yep.
Okay.
And you can log back in as well and access the sets that you've created previously.
Okay.
Next to the flashbulb option here, we have GRE. So if any of your students are preparing for the GRE test, we have a couple options here for them. So they can connect with one of our live tutors to help prepare for the GRE. And then we have practice tests available for the GRE. And then we also have resources available. So these are just some links we've compiled that will help you prepare for the GRE. If we go back into the study tab, so we have the exact same options that we just saw for the GRE for AccuPlacer and Compass. So for GRE, AccuPlacer, and Compass, we have those same options. So a live tutor, resources, and practice tests. This button here, the resources option, this is something that's just here in case you want to give us any links to add that your students can access. So a lot of times a client will want us to add a link back to their homepage or links to other services that they offer to their students, and that would go here in the resources section. But if there's nothing you want us to add, this will just be blank. You can also send documents to us. You know, if there's APA formatting documents you want to make available to your students, something like that, that can be included here as well. And then the last option here in the study section is the test center. So I mentioned this briefly before, but basically the test center lets you take academic practice tests. You just choose one of the available subjects. For example, if you choose math, choose one of the subjects here, and you can take a practice test in that subject. Once you've taken a test, you have the My Tests option up here at the top of the page. That's where your test results will be saved. And you can actually log in with one of our live tutors after taking a test, and our tutors are able to access your test results. So if you take a test, you can log in with one of our tutors and then have that tutor go over the problems you answered incorrectly in a live session. So a lot of students like to use that feature. Any questions about the options here in the Study tab?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So the last tab here is Collaborate. Just have two options here. The first one is Meet. So essentially Meet allows you to schedule an online meeting using our online classroom with whoever you'd like to invite. So you're connecting in the same online classroom as when you connect with one of our live tutors in a live session, except in a Meet session here, you're not connecting with our tutors. You're only connecting with the people you invite to the session. So students can use this to have a study group, or even a teacher could use it to give a little bit of extra help to students outside of the classroom. But the nice thing about Meet here is that everybody can be in a different location. So you can, as long as you all have internet access, you can connect from different locations. So if you click on the Meet button here.
Is it like a Hangout? Is it like a Hangout that like Google has?
Probably somewhat similar, but I'll show you the online classroom when we connect for the live session, and it's the same options that we'll see there that you'll have in a Meet session. So you essentially can instant message back and forth, and you have a smartboard you can work on, so you can work through math problems, something like that.
Okay.
So I'll show that to you when we connect for the live session. To schedule a Meet session, this is where you do it. You have to enter the email addresses of the people you'd like to invite, and then you put in the date and time, a brief description, and then click on Send. So that'll send an email to everybody whose address you entered. The email will contain a link they can click on to join the session. So there's no special download or anything required. The student doesn't need to be signed into Brainfuse or anything like that. You just click on the link that was emailed to you. And you can click on the My Calendar option here. This is where your scheduled Meet sessions will be saved.
Okay.
Right next to the Meet option, we have Brainwave. So this button here says Create and Share Movie-like Notes and Ideas. So essentially in Brainwave, you're given a smartboard where you can type out or draw or put pictures, images, anything like that onto the board. And whatever you're doing on the smartboard is being recorded, essentially like a little video, and then it's saved within your account. So you might use this to show how to solve a multi-step math problem. You can go through each step in the process, and then you have a little video recording of how to solve that problem. And these can actually be sent to other people once you have one saved. So if I click on Brainwave, these are all brainwaves that have been created in this account. So you can click on the play button to play them, or you can click on the envelope icon next to each one. You can enter someone's email address and send that brainwave to them. If you want to create a new brainwave, just click on the button up here. This window tells you a little bit more about this tool, and you click on Begin Recording. We call this the Brainwave Notepad. It looks just like our online classroom, so you'll have these same buttons available when you're connected with one of our live tutors, which we'll see in a couple minutes. So I'll go over these in more detail then. But for example, I can use the Graph button right here to put a graph on the board. I can use the Shapes button to put to put a line onto the graph. And then I could work through how to find the slope of that line, or whatever the problem is that I was trying to solve. So the system's recording whatever I'm putting on the board here. And then when I'm done, I click on Stop Recording, type out a name for the brainwave, and then click on Save. So that'll save it right here. And then again, you can send that brainwave to somebody else.
Okay. Tammy's asking if you can use Bamboo with this. Do you know anything about that?
I'm not sure what Bamboo is.
It's like a bamboo tablet that you write. You can work a problem out with a
Oh,
virtual pen.
yeah. Yeah, you should be able to. A lot of our tutors use those, especially our chemistry
Okay.
tutors, so those should work.
Yeah.
You can also
How
click...
would how would the student know? Would they go to this section to find the information? Sometimes we get a phone call and a student's stuck on a problem, and we have a tutor that will go and try to work the problem out and then come back and try to explain it over the phone. So how do they tell? Do they just tell them to go log into Brainfuse and find this section, or because the tutor saved it in this section, or?
Yeah, if you mean the tutor wants to send something to the student?
Yeah, if they've created a brainwave and created an explanation of a problem.
Yeah, so the tutor would just go in here to the brainwave they created, click on this envelope icon, and enter the student's email address, and that would send it to them.
Okay.
That would be the easiest way.
Okay.
The other way they can do it is we have this brainwave library tab. So if the tutor knows what they called the brainwave, the student can search for the name of it here, and you can access the brainwaves that other people have created. So if
they put that link to the resources. Can they put the link through the resources? Is that what you're asking?
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
One of the tabs has resources, and you had mentioned we could put our links to that resources section. So could we put our, like, a brainwave? Yes, under that section. Could we put one of the brainwave videos that we've created under the resources?
I'm not sure about that. I think it has to be a link or a file that's uploaded into resources.
Okay.
Any other questions for right now?
No.
Okay. You can also click on My Brainwaves here, and that will access your created brainwaves.
Okay.
Click on that to get to this page here. We also have the My Cloud Pack option up here at the top of the page. So this is essentially a storage device where you can upload documents, links, anything like that. So when you open it for the first time, you won't see these subfolders. These are ones that I added. So you can add whatever folders you'd like here and then upload documents into these folders. So that works in one capacity, just as a storage device, so you can back up documents here. But the nice thing about Cloud Pack is that once you have documents saved here, when you're connected in the live session, you can upload these documents right onto the whiteboard so you and the tutor can look at them together. So if you're working on a paper and want to look at it together with the tutor, this is a good way to do it. And I'll mention this again when we're connected in the live session.
How much space is on the MyCloud?
I'm sure there's a limit, but we've never had a student reach it, so it's a very large limit.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and connect for a live session now. I'm just going to pause the screen briefly to get it set up. And then the screen should be live again. So we're back on the main page that we started on here. So we've seen a couple different areas where you can connect with our live tutors, but the main one here is the Live Help button, the first one that we looked at. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this button here, and then I just enter a topic, then a subject, and click on Get Live Help to connect with a live tutor. So this is our online classroom here that's opening up. You'll always see the same online classroom here, no matter what subject you choose. So you'll see the same window here. I've set this session up today just so that I connect with myself. I'm also logged in as a tutor. So the tutor's name shows up here and also in the participants box here on the left. So there's two main parts to the online classroom. We have the instant message chat box down here at the bottom. So this is where most of the back and forth communication occurs between the tutor and the student. So the session will usually begin with a tutor greeting the student and figuring out what exactly they need help with. So the tutor sees the subject the student chose, So in this case it was writing, but they wouldn't know anything other than that. So if I want to type something back to the tutor, you just click down here at the bottom, and we can type back and forth. The whiteboard space up here at the top, this area can be used for a number of different things. So we have all those lessons that we saw earlier in SkillSurfer. We have all of those lessons are available to our tutors, so the tutor can upload those right onto our whiteboard if there's a topic the student is looking for help on. So they could upload a lesson here and then work through that with the student. The student can copy and paste a problem here onto the whiteboard, or copy and paste a part of a paper they're working on, something like that. So those are some of the different options that students have for using the whiteboard here. Most of the time, though, it's just used by a tutor and a student to go through a math problem or a chemistry problem, something like that. So when you're doing that, you'll use all these buttons along the left-hand side to type and put various things on the whiteboard. So I'll quickly go through these here to show you how they work. The pencil just lets you freehand draw. The eraser will let you erase. The ABC button lets you click anywhere on the board and then type. And of course, this is all interactive here. So whatever I'm putting on the whiteboard here as the student is showing up on the tutor's whiteboard and vice versa. So you're essentially working on the same whiteboard as though you're standing in front of the same chalkboard or whiteboard in a classroom. So you're working on the same board together. The font button here lets you change the font style and size. Color wheel just lets you change the color of the next thing you put on the board. This is a copy and paste option. So if you copy something, you can then paste it right onto the whiteboard. So let me just go back to this paper we saw earlier. If I copy, Control-C, part of that paper, then I go back into the online classroom, you just put the cursor wherever you'd like it to be. You can also change the text color. I'm going to change it back to black. The cursor right here, and you just click on this paste button, and that'll paste the text right onto the board. So you can do that with text. You can do that with images or math problems from an online source or from Blackboard, something like that. So anything that can be copied and pasted you can paste onto the board. This tool is a straight line tool, so you can use it to underline or to draw figures. Then you have this graph and number line tool. So you can choose the number line option, click and drag that onto the board, or you can choose the graph option and click and drag that. And you can double click on the icons here to change the X and Y values. Then we have a basic shapes tool, so you can put lines onto a graph or some other basic shapes onto the whiteboard. The arrow just removes the most recent thing you put on the board, so you can keep clicking on that and essentially move backwards. This button just gives you a long list of math symbols if you need them. This one does the same thing for science symbols. And we have a superscript and a subscript button, and then at the bottom you can clear the entire whiteboard. Up at the top we have a print option. So here you can print out the whiteboard. If you went over a problem that was particularly helpful, you can print it out there. However, you don't need to do that. If we look back on the website, you also have this past sessions option. So you can always click here, and essentially your live tutoring sessions are automatically recorded like a video and then saved here within your account. So you can log back in anytime and replay these sessions. The little orange icon on the right next to each one says convert to a brainwave. So that will convert your live video, the video of the live session here, will convert it into a brainwave file. And then if you remember with those brainwaves, you could send those to other people. So you can send copies of your live tutoring session videos to other people if you'd like to. You can also do that directly from the session here. So if you have a successful session right before you sign out, you can click on this envelope icon and enter either your own email address or somebody else's, and then that will email a link to them that they can use to watch the recording of this tutoring session. The send file button right here, this lets you upload a document directly to the tutor you're connected with. So you can send them a paper you're working on, or any standard document type can be sent back and forth. So you can send them a paper, and then you'd each have a copy of it to look at. And then the last option here is the Cloud Pack Explorer that we looked at before. So if you upload documents into your Cloud Pack, you can then click on the Explorer here to access those documents, and you can upload them right onto the whiteboard. So you have a few different options for sharing information with the tutor. You can use the Cloud Pack option. You can use this option to send the document to the tutor. And of course, you can just copy and paste on the whiteboard. So the reason we have the Send File option is because you can't edit on our whiteboard the way you can in Microsoft Word. You can't edit and save. So sometimes you want the tutor to actually have a document where they can make comments on there instead of on the whiteboard. If you connect in a Meet session, so one of those sessions where you invite people to the Meet session, so you can invite fellow students, or even a teacher or professor could invite some students to give them some extra help. If you connect in one of those Meet sessions, you'll essentially have the exact same options here. The only difference will be you might have 5 people attending or more, so they would all show up here in the participants box. They would all be able to type in the chat box and would all be able to write on the whiteboard. The other difference is also you can use audio in a Meet session. So if everyone has audio capabilities on their computer, so they have a microphone and speakers, you can speak back and forth in a Meet session, which you can't do in a session with our tutors.
Is it limited to the number of participants?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not that I've ever heard of, no.
Okay.
So that's essentially how the live sessions work. Are there any questions about that? Anything in the online classroom here?
No, and it saves automatically, right? You said the live session
Yep.
would be archived. Okay.
Yeah, it's saved within your account in the Past Sessions tab here.
Yes. Just making sure.
Yep. So those are essentially all the options here that your students will have access to. The last thing I like to usually show is this brief form on ways to increase usage. So it really depends on the client how quickly the service catches on, but sometimes it takes a while. So these are just some different ways you can make students aware that the service is available. So I won't go through all of them, but essentially putting the flyers that we send in high visibility areas and otherwise getting the word out about the link that's available to Brainfuse. So whether it's through student newspaper, through social media, through instructors sending it to their students, putting it in their syllabus, different things like that, all helps to get the word out and get students using the service. And we're also happy to set up more of these webinars at any time. So you can just contact us and we can set up additional webinars.
Okay.
Okay, are there any other questions about anything we went over?
I don't think so. I think it looks fantastic. We probably will want another webinar. I would love for our tutors to see them. We won't be able to have them in until I think the second week of August. I've been given permission to bring them in for a training day. Also, the faculty has a reduced amount of time that they can work on professional development, and I think that's already booked. So I was going to do that in August also, but I still want to plan some webinars and just figuring out when's the best time.
Okay.
Because I know our faculty, especially English, they love this type of service. So, and I think we have some math faculty that would be very interested in using this service in their classes.
Sure. Yeah, just let us know anytime. We'd be happy to schedule additional webinars.
Okay. How much time do you need? I might know in August, in July, but it might be closer to August that I would know.
Yeah,
But,
that's fine. I mean, ideally at least a few days, but even
Okay.
if it's the next day, that's usually fine as long as we have availability.
Okay.
Okay. No other questions?
Can you think of? Yeah, if we could have more information about the scheduling, where we could give you all our tutor schedule, do you want it as what the topics they would tutor, at certain times, or do you just need their available times and you all do that? If we have more information on that, that would be great too. I think you could at least use 2 tutors to start out with.
Sure.
And work with someone on that too.
Yeah,
Our program's not available until July 1st, right? This isn't
Yeah.
available.
I know it's not available now. I believe July 1st is the
Target date.
the target date.
Okay.
Yeah, and I made a note of that, so I'll have someone, either myself or someone else, get back to you about the tutor match option.
Okay.
Anything else for today?
No, it sounds great. No.
Okay. All right, well, thanks a lot for attending. If you do have questions in the future, feel free to contact us anytime.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.